You got the raise. Maybe you even got the promotion. And for like 2 weeks, it felt amazing. You treated yourself, you felt good, you thought, okay, this is it. Things are finally going to be different. And then somehow, a month later, you're checking your bank account with that same familiar knot in your stomach. Same feeling, different salary. What is going on? Here's the thing. You're not bad with money. You're not irresponsible. And you're definitely not alone. This happens to people making $30,000 a year and people making $300,000 a year. The feeling of being broke doesn't care how much you earn. And once you understand why, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Let's talk about what's actually happening. The first thing you need to understand is something called lifestyle inflation. And it's sneaky because it doesn't feel like a problem when it's happening. It feels like progress. You get a raise, so you upgrade your apartment a little. Your old car is getting older, so you get something nicer. You start eating out more because, hey, you've earned it. None of those decisions feel reckless in the moment. Each one feels completely reasonable. But here's what's actually happening. Your expenses are growing at exactly the same rate as your income, sometimes faster. Think of it like this. Imagine you're running on a treadmill, and every time you speed up, the treadmill speeds up too. You're working harder, you're moving faster, but you're still in the exact same spot. That's lifestyle inflation. Your income goes up, your lifestyle adjusts to match it, and your savings account stays flat. The number on your paycheck changes, but the feeling at the end of the month doesn't. And we do this automatically. It's almost unconscious. Because we live in a world that constantly tells us that more income should look like more stuff. Nicer things, bigger spaces, better experiences. So when the money comes in, we upgrade. It feels natural. It feels like what you're supposed to do. But nobody told us that every upgrade has a recurring cost. And those costs stack up quietly until your bigger paycheck has disappeared into a bigger version of the same life. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Because lifestyle inflation explains the spending, but it doesn't fully explain the feeling. Even people who are genuinely financially stable, people with savings and investments and no serious debt, can still walk around feeling broke. And that comes down to something deeper, something happening inside your brain. It's called the scarcity mindset. And if you grew up watching your parents stress about money, if you've ever had your card declined, if you've ever had to choose between 2 bills because you couldn't pay both, your brain learned something. It learned that money is dangerous, that it disappears, that you can never really relax around it. And brains are incredibly good at holding on to lessons like that. The problem is, your brain doesn't automatically unlearn those lessons when your situation changes. So even when you're doing better, even when the account has a cushion and the bills are paid, your nervous system is still on high alert. It's like a smoke alarm that went off so many times during a real fire that now it goes off when you're just making toast. The threat is gone, but the alarm is still blaring. This shows up in really specific ways. You might avoid looking at your bank account because it gives you anxiety. You might spend money impulsively when you have it because holding on to it feels unstable, like it's going to disappear anyway, so why not enjoy it now? You might feel guilty spending on yourself even when you can genuinely afford it. Or you might feel that creeping dread at the end of every month, no matter what the number actually says. That's not a money problem. That's a wiring problem, and it's way more common than people realize. There's one more piece to this puzzle, and it might be the most uncomfortable one. It's called hedonic adaptation. Big phrase, simple idea. Humans get used to everything, fast. That raise you got 8 months ago? Your brain has already decided that's just normal now. The apartment upgrade? That's just home. We adapt to positive changes so quickly that they stop feeling like wins almost immediately. And then we start looking at the next level up and feeling like we're falling behind. It's why people who hit big financial goals often feel weirdly empty afterward. It's why a salary that would have seemed like a dream 5 years ago feels barely enough today. We're not ungrateful. We're just human. Our baseline keeps moving. And if we don't understand that, we'll spend our whole lives chasing a feeling that resets every time we catch it. So what do we actually do about all of this? The first thing, and this is the one that changes everything, is to automate your savings before you see the money. Not after. Before. Most people spend first and try to save whatever's left, and there's never anything left. But when your savings transfer automatically the day your paycheck hits, you adjust your lifestyle to what remains. You don't miss what you never saw. Even starting with 10% is enough to break the cycle. The amount matters less than the habit. The second thing is to redefine what doing well actually looks like. We've been conditioned to measure financial success by what we spend: the car, the apartment, the clothes. But real financial health is measured by what you own minus what you owe. That's your net worth. And net worth doesn't care about your wardrobe. Two people can make the same salary, and one can be quietly building real wealth while the other looks the part but has nothing underneath. Decide which one you want to be and start measuring yourself accordingly. The third thing is to start working on that scarcity wiring directly. This one takes time, but it starts with something simple. Build a small emergency fund, even $500, even $1,000. Because just knowing that cushion exists changes how your nervous system responds to money. It shifts your brain out of survival mode, even just a little. And from that slightly calmer place, you start making better decisions. You stop spending impulsively because you're not terrified. You stop avoiding your accounts because the number isn't as threatening. Small cushion, big psychological shift. Here's the mindset shift I want to leave you with. Feeling broke isn't always about how much money you have. Sometimes it's about patterns you inherited, a lifestyle that quietly outgrew your income, and a brain that learned to be afraid of money long before you had any real control over it. None of that makes you bad with money. It makes you human. And all of it is changeable. You don't need to earn more to start feeling different about money. You need to understand what's been driving the feeling in the first place. And you just did that. The awareness alone is worth something. Now the work is taking one small step. Automate something, track your net worth, build that cushion, and letting that one step prove to your brain that things actually are different now. If this resonated with you, subscribe. We break down money psychology like this every week in a way that actually makes sense. And drop a comment below. Have you ever gotten a raise and still felt broke? Because I have a feeling you're not the only one.